Steve-O.
Yo, what's the word?
Big Q, what up, my guy?
What up, Kev?
Hey, we got the Chicago Bulls going into Thibodeauville to take on the New York Knicks in New York. And we're going to take a deeper look at the new Chicago Bears offensive coordinator. But of course, right after the intro. All right, good morning, Chicago sports fans. Welcome to another episode of Chi-Town Sports Central. Y'all already know what to hit us up down low in the comments. Let us know what y'all think about today's topics. Is Big Kev along with Q Ball. They call you that? They still call you that? Q Ball?
No one has ever called me that.
For real? Everybody I know,
No,
and we call him
peop-
Q or Q Ball.
no. In high school, people knew I would have punched them in their face. I'm not.
All right, my bad. I ain't trying to get beat up over the internet. We got Steve-O Speaks in the building too, man. And we're going to go right into it. The Chicago Bulls are taking on the New York Knicks tonight after a spirited loss. It was a loss, but a spirited loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They didn't look too bad. They did have too many turnovers, but it was a game that was well within reach. And frankly, the Chicago Bulls, they don't really play well at the crib. So losing to Cleveland at home wasn't really a surprise. I think they only got one win at home so far this season. But on the flip side, they got 3 wins on the road. They're 3-1 on the road. They're taking on the New York Knicks team that hasn't really been meshing the way that I thought they would to start the season. They're only 5-5 and a very beatable team. So, Q, how are we feeling about the Bulls' chances tonight versus the New York Knicks in the Mecca?
I mean, yeah, they have a chance. I mean, as long as they play well. The issue with the Bulls is they have the offensive talent to play with any team. They just can't do it for 4 quarters. Like they don't have the energy, they don't have the effort, the want. Um, Obviously, people scoring in the post in the paint is going to be the issue. We're averaging 60 points, giving up 60 points in the paint. So I mean, if they can stop that and slow it down, or you can slow down Jalen Brunson and make him shoot inefficiently, then yeah, there's a chance they can win this game. But I mean, yeah, they got a lot of pieces. The Knicks got a lot of bench. They got a lot of players who can step up if somebody isn't playing well. It's just going to come down to them actually giving an effort for 4 straight quarters and playing smart on the defensive end. That's where their kryptonite is, really.
Yeah, speaking of the bench, Steve-O, in the game versus Cleveland, the Chicago Bulls bench didn't really produce much. Io gave you 10 points, but it was an ineffective 10 points, inefficient 10 points. Tonight versus the Knicks are on the back-to-back. They ruined Joel Embiid's return to NBA action last night in Philly in the first night of the Emirates Cup. For the or the NBA Cup or the in-season tournament, whatever you want to call it. So tonight the Bulls are getting the Knicks on the back-to-back after getting a little bit of rest themselves. Can our bench show up tonight and provide a little bit of punch so that the Bulls can stay in this game?
Can they? Yes. Will they? I don't know. And that's kind of been the recipe for the bench this season. Either they gonna show up early or they not gonna show up at all. And that's pretty much it when it comes to this bench. We gonna need them, of course, against this team. They have a solid bench as well. Um, like you said, McBride been having some pretty good games over there, as well as a couple other bench players that they have over there. So it's not like we could take them lightly once our starters get out the game. And that's sometimes where the game gets out of hand. Even like last game, when the bench came in, that's when the game got out of hand. That's when the starters had to come in and fight even more. So yeah, you just gotta see which bench you're gonna get today, and we'll go
You're
off there.
You're definitely right because this has been a tale of two benches for the Chicago Bulls this season. It kind of hinges upon, revolves around Jalen Smith. And if Jalen Smith is healthy enough to go tonight, I expect the bench to be better than they were against Cleveland. Because frankly, the Bulls bench have helped them come back and win a couple of games that they were down big in. And we don't want to see them have a slow start. The Chicago Bulls have only won the first quarter twice so far this season, and they barely got the first quarter win versus Cleveland the other day with what was it, a goaltending that they allowed the Bulls to get away with or something like that with the tip in. But hey, another situation with the Chicago Bulls in that Cleveland Cavaliers game was the rotations of Billy Donovan. For some reason, during a crucial stretch in the game in the third quarter specifically, he put in Taylor Horton Tucker for no reason. It says it was only 1 minute on the score card, but at the end of the day, it felt like it was 10 minutes of ineptitude. And on top of that, there, for whatever reason, he decided not to have Zach and Vooch and or Vooch on the court. And I feel like this is the type of team that needs to have one or both of those players on the court at all times. So Q, how we feeling about Billy D's rotations tonight? Can he get it together in time for this win or for a possible victory over the Knicks tonight?
No, that's his rotation is his rotation. That's just how Billy runs. He tries things that maybe aren't the best, but he's gonna try something. That's Billy's thing. He doesn't know how to really make adjustments with the X's and O's. So he just changes the players and hopes that if he switches out, Kobe for THT, maybe THT will run the play better. I don't know what it is. Um, that's been one of the big issues with the Bulls is they will look good, especially if they start a game out well. They look good. The team will make adjustments. Billy won't change our plays. He'll just change the players on the court and hope that that's going to change how the outcome of the plays work. It's something where we just got to work on having a coach that actually cares about the game plan. If somebody's stopping Kobe from getting to the rim, give someone else the ball. Don't just switch out Kobe for another point guard and tell that point guard to do what Kobe was doing. Um, but yeah, I don't see Billy making any changes in this game as far as his rotation, how he plays people. Probably see some damn Javon Carter minutes at some point. He just throws people in there, even if we don't want it. As long as it's not modest, he's gonna throw somebody in there.
Steve-O, how you feeling about maybe making sure that if they're not in foul trouble, of course, Zach Levine or Vooch needs to be uh, on the court at all times.
I don't expect Billy to get smart after 4 years. Billy is Billy. Billy. This is a part of his nature. He don't know when. His main issue is when and where. He don't know when and where to do things. He don't know what's the right choice. He just do shit and hope it works. Hope it finds out. If I do this, maybe it'll work. It's going to happen in this game. It happens every game. There's a rotation we question. There's a time where somebody should be in the game and they're not. It happens every game. So, will it happen? Do I expect it? Yes, I 100% expect it. The question is, will it cost us this game? Because some games it does, some games it doesn't.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, big game for the Bulls tonight. If they want to have the first 15 that I expected, I said they were going to finish either 9-8 or 8-9, and they're already one loss away in the loss column from reaching that. So they're going to have to go on a 2 or 3 game winning streak if they want to be at least decent after the first 15 games. If you guys want to hear anything else about the Chicago Bulls in-depth analysis, go ahead and head over to Chicago Bulls Central with Hayes. He does a great job over there, or the Shot Bulls podcast. Well, let's just say and the Shot Bulls podcast with C Dub and Bobby. Tonight's game will be called Live by Bobby. I think C Dub by C Dub. Steve O Speaks will be there himself, and I won't be there. I'll be at work, and maybe Bobby will be back. He's been celebrating his birthday for like a whole 3 weeks. You know, and it is what it is. Though he hit the milestone. All right, moving right along. It's not going to be a long episode today, guys. The Chicago Bears, first of all, just breaking news. They decided to go ahead and release Nate Davis. They should have traded him early in the season when teams was actually looking at him. But by the time the trade deadline came around, it was like, why would we trade for a dude that's not even playing? You know, it don't even make sense. Offensive lineman that's not even playing. But he has been released. How y'all feeling about that?
Should have did it in off season.
I still want Eberflus
It's
fired.
clearly how I feel.
I'm tired of everybody else being let go, but the one person we all want to get let go.
Hey, but this is another bad look on Pose. He had an opportunity to trade Valus Jones and get something back from him. Then he ended up having to release him. He had an opportunity to trade
Khalil Herbert.
Nate Davis and get something back from him. They ended up releasing him. He traded Khalil Herbert, but he could have traded him earlier and got more for him, like maybe in the offseason when people probably wanted to give up a higher draft pick, but ends up getting like what, an eighth, ninth round pick, something crazy like that, seventh round pick. So I don't know, man.
Justin.
It just in Justin as well. Like he sells low. He holds on to his assets just like a tick too long, 2 ticks too long, and devalues them before getting rid of them. And that's another strike on his resume, in my opinion. Like it's a couple of decisions that Ryan Poe, because some people are still high on him, but for
Yep.
me, it's a few decisions that Ryan Poles has made over the last 2 or 3 seasons that has me looking at him kind of sideways. Like, dude, like it's still more good than bad, but the bad is starting to pile up, fellas.
Especially right now. I think this is just some of the worst time for this stuff can happen because majority of the moves that's been made to that's gone now was majority of Ryan Poe's decision. And that's the thing. Like we can say how much you've done good, but your goodness has got us to this point, which is we don't know what the hell is about to be for this rest of the season. So, are you really doing a good job? Yeah, it's cool that you fixed the business part of it, but it's not resulting into renting. It's cool that you got the numbers right and we got money and we got places where we can improve this team, but you've shown me that you can find some people, but you can't find other people. You can make decisions, but you can't make the right decisions at the right time. So at the end of the day, my trust in you leading us to where we're trying to be is just slowly declining each and every moment, every decision that you make. Because as of now, all the moves that you made thus far to get to this point, it ain't working out.
Yeah, Shane Waldron's out of there. Khalil Herbert was a serviceable back.
Two coaching
Yep.
staffs.
And here's the thing: maybe Khalil Herbert has a role, would have had a role in Thomas Brown's system, who's now the new offensive coordinator,
Most definitely.
Quentin. So Thomas Brown, just taking a deeper look at his resume, we do know that he was a NFL running back, kind of fizzled out due to injuries, but then he worked his way up through the college ranks, and then found himself working for the LA Rams eventually, and was on their coaching staff as the assistant head coach, mind you, when they won the Super Bowl. And it's also been revealed that even when he was the offensive coordinator for a really bad Carolina Panthers team that kind of led to the Bears getting the number one overall pick this past season, um, he was still voted the number two offensive coordinator in all the NFL by the NFL players. We've even heard Sean McVay. Well, we'll get into what Sean McVay had to say, but how we feeling now that we know a little bit more about how the players think about Thomas Brown?
I mean, I liked it because off rip, I knew people was gonna be like, "Oh, he came to Carolina. He what makes you think?" I'm like, he wasn't calling plays. Y'all forget Frank Wright was there. Frank Wright was the offensive mind there, and Thomas got the last 6 games of play calling, which is like I don't know if you like read. It was a tweet that his wife like posted on Twitter around the time where was when Frank was fired and everything, and they was like Thomas should be fired too. His wife was like, "We already fired, but we can't leave. We get somebody got to call the plays." So it's like at the end of the day, with that team not having no talent on there as well, like what do you expect him to do in 6 games? There's nothing to put out there. The team don't care. Um, he probably didn't care. So it's like I didn't put the onus and all the stuff that happened on the Panthers pretty much on him because it really wasn't him. But to your point, the reason I am liking is because out of every OC that we didn't have, he feels like he's done it the right way. He's played in the league, but not only he's played in the league, he's almost coached almost every position from wide receivers to running backs to tight ends. Tight end is where you more learn how the O line works, how blocking schemes works, and everything else. So that's kind of why Sean McVay wanted him to do that as well as being his assistant coach because it teach you a lot of things. Because according to Sean McVay, he feels like he's a future head coach at some point. So yeah, I kind of like the decision. A lot of people saying it ain't gonna be completely different, but like I said, if he could just come out here and play some situational sound football, we can win some games under him.
Well, Quentin, I asked you the question, and Steve-O jumped in since he seen.
I ain't know you said Q,
I,
motherfucker.
I very specifically,
You got 14
I
nicknames for
said
this dude.
Quentin. I said his whole name.
Look, Steve, like
He excited.
wholeheartedly, Steve will still probably know more about this than I do. But yeah, I mean, like kind of going back with what Steve said. I mean, his last tenure, you can't really see too much with how you can judge him. It's gonna, like I said last episode, it's gonna come down to how does he turn this team over right now? Right, you have a locker room that's in shambles. You have a coaching staff that's in shambles. The front office doesn't know what the hell's happening right now. Do you fire your coach? Do you keep your coach? He's just gonna have to come in and make things work. He's gonna have to show right off the bat, hey, like I know all that we were talking about last week. I know all this is happening. People are being let go. People are being fired. We're moving on. This is not the week where you get an excuse. You lose
Well,
against the Packers, it don't matter what happened during that week. We will
I
hate you.
I do not envy this guy coming into the offensive coordinator position versus the biggest rivalry. Well, not necessarily rivalry at this point. The Bears haven't beat the Packers in so long that it's not a rivalry right now. But at the end of the day, Sean McVay said this about him, that he's always had a big picture perspective. He's really attacked the role with the right mindset and mentality. Very matter of fact, secure himself, very demanding of his guys. And Brown said this of himself: I'm definitely energetic. It's about relationships, connecting with the guys, starting to figure how every guy in my room ticks. And it's my job to bring the best out of that player. You set a goal, you make a goal. Okay, what's next? What that signifies to me, gentlemen, is that he is not about himself. It's not about ego. We saw that with Matt Nagy. We saw that Matt Nagy wanted to do things his way as opposed to how the players wanted to do. And you started to see it with Shane Waldron. He wanted to run it his way. It wasn't no adjustments made in terms of what this roster had. There's no reason why DJ Morris is having the worst season of his career. There's no reason why Cole Kmet is not getting any type of
Oh,
plays called up for him. There's no reason why Keenan Allen isn't running slant plays or plays over the middle to pick up crucial third downs. So if it feels like Thomas Brown is going to look at this roster and try to bring and play to these players' strengths and help them get to where they need to get. Because we came into this season, even with the offensive line questions, we all kind of felt like the Bears put Caleb Williams in a position to succeed from an offensive standpoint. And Shane Waldron didn't do that. So my hope is that Thomas Brown looks at this roster and says, hey, you know what? I'm going to put you where you need to be. And I'm going to put you where you need to be. I'm going to scheme you open. And I'm going to help Caleb Williams, because it felt like the Bears were kind of coaching Caleb Williams out of Caleb Williams. There were no deep balls. He can't connect on the deep balls, so on and so forth. Do y'all think that Thomas Brown is going to get the best out of this roster for the rest of the season? Steve-O?
I hope so. I don't know. I hope so. Like I said, if I feel like if he just comes into the mindset of, like you said, play ball how I know this team can play and what they're capable of doing. Stop trying to make them do things you know they're not capable of doing right now. And that was a lot of things Shane Waldron should have realized week by week. Like some of the plays that he's running and the personnel he's running didn't fit the plays that he was running, nor did it fit the skill set of the team that we had on offense. So yeah, like if he just comes in, utilize Rojo, that's something you can do. Utilize Swift in the right moments. Utilize what he's good at. With him being a running back, I'm sure he's going to do that. Sure up this blocking scheme. He's been a pass game coordinator as well, so I'm sure he's gonna realize that these passing concepts ain't mirrored to the blocking scheme either. So he need to figure out this blocking scheme. Hopefully he implement a lot of more 12, 11 personnel, because with this injury riddled line, we're going to need it, especially with us releasing another guard and Nate Davis. We're going to need more help on the side. So, yeah, just if you just come out here and play simple minded, sound football, I feel like that's the best way forward just to get through this season.
True. Q?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what Steve said. It's about them making these changes. My thing though is, can you imagine if this man comes out and beats the Packers on the first game? just,
Yeah,
just
I definitely
like
I want to
how
imagine it.
how happy Chicago will be. we
Dude, my wife could ask me anything for 3 straight days after that.
look.
Can I have a BMW? Yeah, baby. Go, here's the credit card. Go ahead. You can have
I'm
it.
telling you though, the Bears win this game. That dude's got a job for life.
Mm,
When you come out and beat the Packers first game, no full week of practice, the offense looks good.
I wouldn't say he got a job for life, but he'll
With
definitely be
with
able to
this
walk
team,
into any bar and get a
with this
beer.
team,
Cause
they
hey,
will keep him and
you
not
gotta
fire
sustain
him,
it.
regardless of what happens. You beat the Packers. This ownership, they're gonna be like, you helped us.
He might be
You
right with
helped
that one.
us sell so many
They
tickets.
gonna give him the key to the city.
They're gonna be like, shit, you.
they go
On me,
they go
they
take it
go
back.
they go get they
They
go
go
give
take it
him
back
dirt.
from Dirt.
They go give him right to dirt. They go give him
Look,
dirt shit.
Is
it's
this
gonna be
blood on
lit.
here? Nah, just ignore it.
Wow.
But no, if
Ain't
he
nothing.
win, if they win this game and it's partly because of him and his scheme, they might be like, when we fire Eberflus, will make you the head coach, knowing this ownership.
Nah, don't do that. But if he's a good offensive coordinator, because we already know what it looks like to have a defensive coordinator as the head coach, people are where they're supposed to be. And that's just what it is. Some people are really good offensive coordinators, but not head coaches. Some people are good defensive coordinators, but not head coaches. So yeah, man, like looking deeper into this man's resume, I kind of felt like UQ. We talked about it in the pregame, the pre-show about how thinking about him being on the Carolina Panthers can cause reason for concern. But again, if we're talking about dumpster fires, they're a worse dumpster fire than we are. They just lost to the
That's an
say that
inferno.
again.
That's an inferno over there. There ain't no dumpster
Exactly.
fire.
So like I just can't really hold him responsible for what happened in Carolina. Like they fired a first year head coach like right after he got there. Like I mean, he didn't even make it through the season. So you give a coach maybe what 3 years at least, and Carolina's so inept that they gave him half a season and it didn't work out. So I can't really blame that on Thomas Brown. But I do like I do like his chances. It can't get worse than 3 points in 2 games,
Very true.
3 points apiece in 2 games. Like it can't
I,
get worse than
I
that.
hope it can't get worse.
All I know is I better not see a goddamn screen to DJ Moore again.
Please, not unless it makes sense.
Yeah,
That's because that's
like
where Shane Waldron was going wrong. Is that his schemes didn't make sense? Like he never set things up properly, like at all. Like we can
First
see
and
this coming.
10. Screen.
Right, right. We can see this. Or you run for 4 yards on first down and then you follow it up with an empty set. Like, what are you doing? There's the
Scramble to the left.
you playing
Fall.
into the hands of the defense. Shane Waldron was playing into the hands of the defense. So if we got somebody who's more poetic, as it were, Steve likes to say, who can tell a story. Because that's really what this is. Like as an offensive coordinator, you got to do something like actually coordinate.
Yeah.
Coordinating it
Shane
tells a
Waldron
story.
just he had incomplete sentences, no stanzas, chapters was fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
you mean it's not like
what?
Madden where I just click a play and hope that it works?
Even in Madden, you got to tell a story.
I'm about to say, even with Madden, I feel like your coach's suggestion was mirrored or something what you was doing.
Yeah.
He was just out there just picking different schemes, like
Nah, he was new to
bunch
Madden.
triple set. I'm gonna use that.
He knew it new to Madden. He was just going
Pistol.
through.
I'm gonna try something to pistol.
Now you could tell he didn't play
Shotgun.
Madden.
I like to look at this
Oh,
one.
real.
I saw this work once. Go
You
with
could
that
tell
one.
he didn't play because Madden will humble you real
I
quick,
like
and it didn't even got to be on all Madden against the computer. It didn't even got to be
I
on
like how
all
this is
Madden.
drawn. I like how this is drawn. I don't think he keep up with him if you do it this
Exactly.
route.
That's he just like this look good right here. I like this one. Oh, another
Well,
screenplay? Oh, I add that. I gotta add
well,
a
we knew it
screenplay.
was a bad look when he was shaky Shane Waldron. We knew it was over with. That was game one. So, all right, man. So y'all already know. Hit up Chicago Bears Central if you guys want to hear anything any more in news and analysis on the squad. Hayes just finished a live talking about Nate Davis a little bit more in depth. So go ahead and head on over to there, check that out. And hey, Chicago Sky introduced their coach yesterday, Steve O. So Chicago Sky Central, you guys can go ahead and head over there and check out that episode. Chicago
Drop that lab
Blackhawks.
yesterday.
Yep, that was a good live. Chicago Blackhawks Central for any news and updates over there. They don't play today; they play tomorrow. So they had a big win against a really good Minnesota team. We're gonna see how they look over the next few games, whether or not they're gonna contend or not. I doubt they're gonna contend, but just want them to compete, play competitive hockey. Chicago Cubs, we got daily updates right now going on. My man's Big Mike is doing player reviews. Today's episode, yesterday was Shota Imanaga. Today we're gonna talk about Justin Steele. And then Chicago White Sox is still in limbo. They don't know what they're going to do with Gary Crochet. They're trying to figure out who they're going to trade him to. So, yeah, head on to Chicago White Sox Central as well for any updates there. And then, of course, the Shot Bulls podcast and NBA Central. NBA Central After Hours is up and running. Go ahead and check that out from last night. Your boy came home at 1 o'clock in the morning and knocked that out. So, yeah, that's all the channels. So we appreciate all the love and support. But right here, comment. Let us know what y'all think, man, so we can respond to you guys and interact with you guys in the comment section. Fellas, anything else?
Yeah, if you don't comment, Dirk gonna come to your house and find you.
Yee, Dirk, the new boogeyman. He the new Candyman. Rest in peace
Mm-hmm.
to Tony Todd, man.
Oh,
All
I thought
right,
that
y'all.
motherfucker was in jail. What the fuck?
Hey, that's what make him Candyman. All right, y'all. Hey, I did see a report that said that they can't find any record of him in jail, so who knows? But all right, y'all. We're gonna holler at y'all next time. Peace.